friends, hello and welcome to one more episode of Educated Muslim. Friends, the conflict between the Jewish Israel and the Islamic Iran is not new. In fact, there are biblical passages, very interesting biblical passages about the events that is happening these days. But then, before we go to that particular passage of Jeremiah, I would like you to bring your attention to Ecclesiastes chapter 1, verse 9, where Solomon says, "What has been will be again, what has been done will be done again. There is nothing new under the sun." Basically, Solomon is telling that history will keep repeating. But what is that history between Israel and Iran that is being repeated even now? Should we not look into it? We should go straight away to the book of Esther to know what was that history, and then we will come back to the present history, and I will show you from the book of Jeremiah where exactly it says about what will happen to Iran in the last days. So let's get started. Friends, let me introduce you to Queen Esther. She was a Jewish queen of King Ahasuerus, and they were of the Persian kingdom. The kingdom of Persia came into power after they toppled the Babylonian kingdom. And during those times, this is the 6th century BC, the kingdom, the whole Persian kingdom was called as the kingdom of Shushan, primarily because there was this place called Shushan, which was the capital of the kingdom. And today, that is in the southwest place of Iran. And that place is called Elam, even during those biblical days, and even now it's called Elam. It's basically the most important place which is focused during this war is a place called Isfahan. Isfahan is a place where the Iranian nuclear sites are situated. So let's get that fact right. Now let me put you to the story of Queen Esther. And what happened is that this person called Hamman, he was second to the king. The king was Ahasuerus, and Hamman was second to the king, the second person to the king. And he was the arch enemy of the Jews. He hated Jews to the maximum he could. And when we dig up his ancestry, we see that he is from the Amalekites. You know how God had asked the Israelites to uproot the Amalekites once for all, kill every person among the Amalekites and finish them off the surface of the earth. Or else these Amalekites would be a pain for you to come. And unfortunately, the king Saul did not do a good job. And that is the reason why we have this person called Hamman of the Amalekites. Because when you read from the book of Esther, you know that Hamman was the descendant of Agag. Agag was the king of the Amalekites. See, when God tells you something to do, you need to do it. If you don't do it, you will face the consequences for years to come. And this is what happened. And Haman, he wanted to terminate the Jewish race completely, once for all, from the soil of the kingdom. And for that, he devised a mechanism where people of the Jewish race will be terminated in a particular day. But then, when you read the book of Esther, you will understand how the Queen Esther, under the guidance of Mordecai, was able to topple his plans. And instead of the Jews being killed, this person, Haman, and his entire clan was finished off because of the smartness by the Queen Esther. And since then, there are Jews in Iran. According to the latest census, there is still 10,000 Jews in Iran. Keep that in mind. Now, watch this news clip before I take you to Jeremiah chapter 49 to show you how the prophecies written on that is being fulfilled in this war.
Good evening and welcome. It was Iran who struck tonight in the ever spiraling cycle of violence in the Middle East. The U.S. says around 200 Iranian ballistic missiles launched from Iran rained down across Israel this evening, sending people running for cover. Just moments after air raid sirens sounded, the sky filled with streaks of light. Incoming missiles, many appearing to explode in the air, intercepted by Israeli and American defenses. Iran launching waves of missiles toward Israel in retaliation for its recent killing of a leader of Hezbollah, an Iranian-backed militia.
So now that you have seen how missiles were raining upon Israel, there is a prophecy which speaks about that. That is in Jeremiah chapter 49, verse 34 to 39. So let me read it for you. It says that this is a prophecy against Elam. The word of the Lord that came to Jeremiah the prophet concerning Elam at the beginning of the reign of Zedekiah, king of Judah, saying, "This is what the Lord of armies says. Behold, I am going to break the bow of Elam, the finest of their might." See, God is telling that when he says the terminology like, "Thus says the Lord of hosts, the Lord of the armies," these are terminologies used by God before he defends Israel. He is giving an assurance to Israel who is standing on behalf of Israel. So that way we can know that on the other side of Elam is Israel. And he is very specifically saying that, "Behold, I am going to break the bow of Elam." What is a bow used for? See, there is a concept during those ancient times, something called bow and arrow. The bow is the launching sight or launching equipment, which, when pulled along with the arrow and left, it just goes straight to the enemy camp. So, what exactly is the bow signifying in this context of missile? If the missiles are the arrow, what is the bow? To me, it simply means the launching sites, the launching equipments, and all those things which chemicals, the fuels, rather the solid fuels for the ballistic missiles. These are all kinds of parts of the bow. And God is saying that I will destroy the bow of Elam. And what happened? To my knowledge, what Israel did was breaking the bow of Elam. Was it not true? They went and destroyed the launching sites of Iran. The reports are not very clear what all they did, but they are pretty happy that they did that job of destroying a lot of things. But then, according to certain reports, the Islamic Republic of Iran leadership is telling that they will send more missiles. Israel will be punished. What does that mean? I would assume that there were some missile launchers which were not destroyed. So they will use the remaining missiles to fire at Israel. So as a result of that, this thing would happen, which is written here. It's written in verse 37. So I will shatter Elam before their enemies and before those who seek their lives. I will bring disaster upon them, disaster upon Iran. Even my fierce anger declares the Lord, and I will send the sword after them until I have consumed them. There will be nothing left of them. They will be consumed. And another interesting part which got my attention is the last portion of verse 36. And there will be no nation to which the outcasts of Elam will not go. What does that mean? That clearly tells us that the people who is staying in Iran will be dispersed. They will get out of Iran because they can no more leave. Most probably, in a consequent later attack, Israel might attack the nuclear installations. And friends, make no mistake, Iran is enriching uranium. They have only one intention about their atomic exercise. They might say it is for peaceful purposes, but I really don't understand why should Iran have atomic energy for peaceful purpose? Because Iran is enriched or rather nourished with big petroleum resources. They don't really need the services of a uranium reactor. What they are using, the enriched uranium, is just for atomic weapons. Let's not be blinded by all those lies which they have been telling in the media. But then with this kind of statements where it says that there will be no nation to which the outcasts of Elam will not go, very clearly says that there should be something which is seriously making people run away from that place. And that has to be, with a little sense, a nuclear disaster which happens in Iran. And when Israel kind of bombs the nuclear installations, the radiations would spread the land and people would be forced to leave the land. There is no doubt about that part. And then what is even more interesting is, friends, verse 38. It says that I will eliminate the kings and officials of Elam. Who are the kings and officials of Elam? You know this guy? The Khomeinis and the Pezeshkians and the Shia clerics, the leadership of Iran's country. They are the modern Hamman, the Hammans of the 21st century. The problem is not the Iranian people. The Iranian people are good people, but their leaders, dangerous. They are Amalekites. So we have to remove those Amalekites. And how will they be removed? By this action, which clearly says that God will eliminate the kings and the officials of Elam. Verse 38. He's not saying he will eliminate the Iranian people or the Persian people. The kings and the officials would be eliminated for sure, one after another. All the Khomeinis and Pezeshkians and those Shia clerics will be eliminated. Now, friends, that is the end of this video. If you have not yet subscribed, consider subscribing it. Please do like, share, subscribe, whatever you do to help grow this channel. May the good Lord bless you and keep you. Till we meet again, bye.